What day is this? Good Tuesday morning, everyone. No, it's not morning. Good Tuesday afternoon, everyone. I am 4 minutes late, and I do apologize for that. Monica Corrado here, the Gap Chef. I missed y'all last week. We had a lot going on with my family and high school graduation, so here I am now. I thought I'd come in today and talk to you about a very important subject, which most people don't talk about. So we're going to talk about that and a couple other things, and then whatever else you feel is important to you, because this is your time. So again, Monica Corrado, the Gap Chef, simplybeingwell.com is my website. Please come and visit me there. I am also practicing with the New Biology Clinic with Dr. Tom Cowan, so you can come and visit me there. What else can I tell you? I'm not a medical doctor, so nothing I say has been approved by the FDA. So welcome to everyone, and I do hope that you will join me on Tuesdays at this time to get your questions answered. Hello, Kathleen. Yes, happy Tuesday. All right, so today I want to talk about something I've talked about before, and then I will take all of your questions after that. Any questions that you have about the GAPS diet, about cooking for GAPS, about what can GAPS heal, all sorts of other things. But first I want to talk about water. I know, I probably should have had a drum roll for that. But let's talk about water. I want to talk about water that we drink and cook with, and water that we bathe with, or bathe in, or wash in, etc., and how really, really important this is for anyone, for everyone on the planet, but also for anyone who's trying to do any kind of microbial balancing, any kind of gut healing. Really, really important. So, why? Because we want to be efficient, we want to be effective, we want to have everything that we're doing have the best chance of succeeding. And so if we don't think about water, then we may have some real issues. So let's talk about the water that we drink and cook with, and then we'll talk about the water that we bathe in. So the water that we drink and cook with, why is this important? Or the water we drink, the water that we cook with, the water that we make our ferments with, right? Did you see that? That means it's important. So why is it important? Because if we are using water straight out of the tap, if we are using water straight out of the tap, then we are using water that has chemicals in it. So this is municipal water. This is water if you live in a city or a town and you don't have your own well, that has its own issues. If you're just in a home getting water and you can go ahead and turn on that tap, that water has been chemically treated, and that water can kill everything in your digestive tract. What? Yes. So please, I see people who are doing GAPS, and they're, GAPS, it takes some work. GAPS takes work. It takes effort. It takes sourcing. It takes time. And we want to make sure that you are using the ingredients, if you will, that you need to be in order to have this diet work, and also not to sabotage it. So, you could be sitting there, you're eating your ferments every day, you're having your cultured dairy, you're drinking your meat stock, you're having good fats, and then you're drinking water out of the tap. So the water in the tap, the water that comes from the faucet, is going to be water that has been chemically treated. And so that water does kill microbes, good and bad, in your body. So you really want to make sure that whatever water you're drinking, that you're drinking pure water. So what does that mean? Pure water and live water. And so we'll talk about that in a moment. So, pardon me, what's the best water for you to be drinking? The best water for you to be drinking is spring water, water that actually comes from a spring near you, out of the ground. I know. You can find out where they are. There are websites that you can find out where is drinking water that's been tested, so it's doesn't have any microbes that could kill you. Water that's clean to drink, that comes out of the ground. Spring water. Can you buy spring water? Yes. Please make sure if you're going to buy water that it's in glass bottles, because if it's not in glass, then it's in plastic. And plastic, we know, with heat, sometimes without heat, can leach into the water that you're drinking. So we want spring water that bubbles up out of the ground, that you go and get, which is the Cadillac, and I know most people can't do it. Maybe it's not even close enough to them. Maybe it's hundreds of miles away. So then you could buy spring water that is that is bottled in glass. Mountain Valley is one of them. I'm thinking of things like Gerolsteiner, Gerol, Steiner, Pellegrino, which of course those are not close by. Those are from Germany and Italy. But so drinking water that is good for you. Next option, you can either put a filter on your water so that you filter out all of the chemicals that the city and the municipalities have put into your water. You filter it out, so now you have filtered water. I like 10-stage filters. Really a good idea to have carbon in that filter because it helps to take out glyphosate, which is the other problem in our food supply, etc., about killing microbes and encouraging leaky gut. So 10-stage water filter, and then make sure that you put minerals into it so that your body can actually use the water, remembering that we live and die on the cellular level. We live and die on the cellular level, and that the cells work by means of charge, positive and negative charges. Minerals have charges. We want to put minerals, meaning good salt. What's good? High mineral salt. You all know I have these on my website at simplybeingwell.com. You can find Baja Gold salt. You can find Celtic salt. You can find Redmond's Real Salt. You want salts that do not have anti-caking or flow agents in them. And you want to make sure that there's a lot of minerals in them. And so that you add to that filtered water. Now, the other things I want to talk about are making your water more like, I could say just like, structurally making your water like the water that comes bubbling out of the earth. And that is to make your water structured. There's many, many ways to do that. One of the ways that I do it is to use an analemma wand to actually structure this is me. You're like, what is she doing? She is currently wanding her water pitcher, which I do every day, several times a day. I got my beautiful water pitcher that's about a half a gallon. I put filtered water in that 10-stage water filter. Then I structure it by stirring it with an analemma wand, A-N-A-L-E-M-M-A, analemma wand, which makes the water very much like spring water, which also makes the water very much like the water in your body. This is also known as gel state. It's known as EZ, exclusion zone. It is known as fourth phase. If anybody wants to learn more about that, you can jump on Dr. Tom Cowan's website, and you can find wands there, etc. So I wand the water. In any case, those things, either drinking water from a spring or buying spring water in a glass bottle, or filtering your water to make sure you get all the chemicals out that the cities, etc., have put in to try and protect you. Take those chemicals out and then wand the water, or you can put it through a flow form, etc., and then add some minerals. Yeah, that's the water to be drinking. It's also the water to be making your meat stock with. It's the water to be making your ferments with, etc., etc. Why am I going on about water? Again, I'm going on about water because you are all working so hard. You are all doing such a great job sourcing and learning these cooking techniques and eating this way and getting your kefir in. I'm drinking 2 cups a day, and getting your meat stock in. I'm getting a quart in a day, getting your good fats in, all these wonderful things. And you don't want to be, I just saw the word douse. I don't know. You don't want to be dousing your digestive tract with chemicals from the tap. So please, people, so many people are trying to be well. So many people are trying their best on GAPS. So many people are working to heal so many things. And if we don't get the water right, it's going to take a lot longer. A lot longer. Because you're constantly killing the microbes. Right? So just like the ones that we don't want to be drinking chemical water, we also don't want to be bathing in chemical water. Why? Because our skin has microbes on it, right? So you don't want to be killing off the microbes on your skin, especially anybody, but especially people with eczema, especially people with any kind of skin issue, right? Psoriasis, eczema, skin rashes, you name it. Here we are taking all these baths. We're detoxing. Are you detoxing in water that's full of chlorine? Please no. Make sure that you're using a filter on that bath and a filter on that shower. And then every once in a while you can take a fabulous apple cider vinegar bath, which will help to rebalance the microbes on your skin. So I'm happy to take questions about any of the water things that I'm talking about now, but also I just want you all, again, with all the work you've got going on and all the effort that you're putting in, I really want to help to set you up for success in this. Yeah? So take the water seriously, folks. It matters what you're drinking. And, every time I see someone who's doing an amazing job with the diet, and then they go over to their sink and they drink the water straight out of the tap, and I can smell the chlorine, just really, really gets me. So anyway, that's my story, Morning Glory. Thought I'd bring that up today. I'm happy to answer any other questions. Again, I missed you all last week, but I was in the throes of graduation celebration week, and so I just could not get here. So anyway, here I am, and I intend to be here every week. All right, so let me say hello to people who are here. I said hello to Kathleen. Hello, Dill. Hello, Jody. Hello, Leonie. Hello, Anna. And hello, everyone else that is here. Happy to have you with me. Happy to answer any questions that you have about the GAPS diet. And you can just go ahead and put them in the chat. I do hope that all of you had a chance well, all of you who are interested, had a chance to take a look at the YouTube video on no plant gaps. God, that was a disaster week, wasn't it? Anyway, technology-wise. But anyway, good information there, I think. So, hello, Solape. Hope that's the way you say it. Hello, Greta. Hello, Andrea. All right. Andrea, okay. Is there an alternative to steroids? So, one more time with feeling. I am not a medical doctor. I am not a naturopathic doctor. I am a certified GAPS practitioner. I'm a teaching chef, and I'm a what am I trying to say here? I forgot what CNC stands for. Certified Nutrition Consultant. Sorry, holistic nutrition is what I do. So I will try to answer your questions. Hello. Okay, Andrea asks, is there an alternative to steroids to reduce swelling in the lower back? Chiropractor is recommending it to lower swelling and speed up healing. Note, still on GAPS intro since February, so inflammatory foods have already been eliminated. Thinking. Okay, I'm going to say a couple things. Western medicine is great in emergencies. Western medicine is great in an acute situation. That's kind of the bottom line. When we need it, we use it. But do we always need it is the question. So, steroids can be very, very difficult to take the body off of. And again, steroids are not addressing the problem, right? So, what could you be doing to reduce swelling in the lower back? I don't know if you had an injury or what, but you can do all sorts of things. I mean, are you doing arnica gel? Is there homeopathics? I would look to homeopathics, both topical and internal. I would get yourself a really good homeopath if you don't have one yet. We do have a couple in this group, meaning Ask the GAPS Chef. Lise Battaglia is a certified GAPS practitioner and a homeopath. I'd love to have people go and see her. She's amazing. Lise Battaglia, Recovery Naturally. So I would be working with someone with homeopathy. I would also be looking at FSM. Again, this is not GAPS, but it's called Frequency Specific Microcurrent. F as in frequency, S as in specific, M as in microcurrent. I would be looking at that because having had a shoulder injury, an extreme shoulder injury about 1.5 years ago now, frequency specific microcurrent healed it all. So, and I was doing chiropractic, and I was doing acupuncture, and I did some homeopathy, but FSM, I would really look into that. There are a lot of ways to speed healing that is not the use of steroids. So acupuncture, frequency-specific microcurrent, homeopathy, I would start there. And I would also be thinking about what are there any emotional pieces to the back swelling? Maybe. The lower back stands usually, again, in general, and this is not GAPS, this is my own knowing, usually lower back pain has to do with not feeling supported. I am not supported in my life. I do not have enough support. So, again, I don't know your story, but I would look there if it resonates for you. You can also use essential oils on your back, all sorts of wonderful things. Hello, Anissa. It's been a while. Hello, Katya. Hello, Leonie. Think I'm getting through my trauma. Gosh, it's a painful process. I'm sorry it's a painful process. For anyone who wants to know, I've done at least a handful of videos, which are now currently sitting on YouTube, my Ask the Gap Chef, or you can just look up my name, Monica Corrado, which is backwards to me, but maybe you can see it. And you can look into those videos on trauma. I don't want your trauma to be painful. We don't need trauma to be painful. One of the things, with no disrespect at all to anyone in their process, of course, but I would also suggest everyone look into biofield tuning. Biofield tuning, BIOFIELD tuning, for trauma release and relief, for low back pain, and for everything else you've got going on. Isn't that hysterical? Anyway, biofield tuning. You can also look that up on YouTube. You can look it up on the web. Eileen McCusick. She's got amazing things that are available. A lot of them are free. So go get them. I'm sorry it's painful, Leonie. Take care of yourself. Hello, Na. Yay! That's very sweet, Anissa. You're welcome, Andrea. Yep, look into those things. Okay. Oh, I am in now. Thank you. I didn't know that you weren't in. Okay. All right. Who's got any questions for me about GAPS? GAPS diet, intro diet, stages of intro, how to move from stage to stage. When can you have spices? When can you have herbs? How about, what is meat stock? Anyway. Okay. I will take questions for another 20 minutes or so. First, I'm going to take some water. Okay. Just go ahead and type your question in there. You want to give me a little bit of update of where you are and what you're doing, what's going on for you, questions about anything at all. I'm just going to wait. I could sing to you. Oh. Or not. I could say all sorts of other things. Let's see. Okay, why doesn't anyone tell me where they are on stages? If GAPS is working for you, if you're stuck anywhere, is anybody stuck anywhere? Hydrogen water. Hey, Hala, how are you? What do I think of hydrogen water? Ooh, you know, I haven't done enough looking at hydrogen water. I'm going to write that down. Look at hydrogen water. But I have heard that it's very, very good. It's very healing. I wonder if hydrogen water is also the same as DDW water, which is deuterium depleted water. I'm not sure. That was something I believe Stephanie Seneff talked a lot about. But hydrogen water, I'm not really sure. But I would look at it. I believe I've only heard good things about hydrogen water. Okay, please, my 5.5 son on GAPS. He's having itchy feet and grinding his teeth. So, sometimes itchy feet is yeast. Sometimes itchy feet is histamine, usually yeast. Grinding teeth is usually parasites. Again, I don't know your background, so I can't really speak definitively at all about what's going on with your son, but in general, people have found that grinding teeth has to do with parasites. But grinding teeth could also have to do with stress. So which one is it? Is it parasites? Is it stress? Is it both? If someone is grinding teeth, I highly suggest that people up the detox, meaning make sure you're doing detox baths every night. Maybe do some enemas. You may want to try that. You could try some of the enemas. In the blue book, Dr. Natasha talks about an enema for worms. You may want to try that. It's a garlic enema. But do follow her instructions, because you have a little person there. I mean, we always want to follow instructions, but especially when we're working with small children. You also may want to look into giving your child pumpkin seed milk, which is just pumpkin seeds that you organic, clean, best you can find, and then soak them overnight in some water and salt. You could also ferment them, make pumpkin seed milk, give that to him. We always start with just a little bit, right? Just a teaspoon or so, see how he does. So I would do those things. I would make sure that you're doing things like you may want to try a baking soda foot bath and see if that helps. That will give you a clue as to what's happening, why he's having itchy feet. Baking soda foot bath. Do that 2 or 3 nights in a row. See how he feels. If the itching goes away, then we do have a yeast issue. So then you want to make sure there's no fruit, no nuts, no seeds. Lots of fat, lots of kefir, those types of things. Okay. Kathleen asks, am I remembering correctly that any liver can be eaten raw if frozen long enough? Yes. Usually the amount of time is 2 weeks, so 14 days or longer. But that's all you need is 14 days. And yes, you can have any liver that you like, as long as it's frozen. Yeah. Okay, Leonie says, back to stage 2, just eggs, meats, and some vegetable and loads of butter. Are you having also stage 2, loads of ghee and loads of tallow and loads of duck fat and loads of chicken fat and loads of lard? I'm hoping you're having lots of fat. And you're having lots of stock on stage 2, I hope. And you're having good salt on stage 2. Yes, stage 2 is fabulous if you know how to work it. Remembering that stage 2 is meat stock and blended soups, vegetable soups, and casseroles and stews. Yeah, stage 2 is a fabulous place to be. And then listen to your body. I know you do. Okay, Greta says, hi Greta, is it possible to mess up when making whey? Yes. Sorry. I mean, nothing that can't be fixed. So, made yogurt for the first time with goat milk, extracted the whey. I'm not sure what it's supposed to taste like. The color looks right. Whey is supposed to taste like yogurt. If you got the whey from yogurt, it tastes kind of yogurtish, very mild. If you got it from allowing raw milk to separate on the counter, it's going to taste like the raw milk. If you drip it from kefir or kefir, it will taste a little bit kefirish. But for the most part, the whey should taste very, very mild, unless it's old. As whey gets older in the refrigerator, which is where you store it, it can get very, very kind of like bite, like acrid. Yeah. So, in terms of can you mess up making whey? As long as so this is the whey, W-A-Y. You can mess up making whey. If you don't use a thick enough cloth or several layers of cheesecloth, you'll get milk solids in the whey. You really want the whey to almost be clear with no white. I mean, so just make sure you're using enough layers of cheesecloth, or you can also use an old cotton or linen napkin or dishcloth or something like that. Just cut it into a square and use that for straining. Yeah. Good luck with that, Greta. Okay, so Lape says, my 3-year-old has recently started coughing. It happens mostly at night while sleeping. What do you suggest I use for him? I'd need to know more about your 3-year-old. Is your 3-year-old currently taking kefir, milk kefir, or yogurt, or what? So remembering that lung time is 3 a.m. to 5 a.m. That's the Chinese medicine's clock. And so if your 3-year-old is coughing between 3 a.m. and 5 a.m., I would look to helping the lungs You can always put lard on the lungs, on the chest. That would be helpful. You could put lard with a little bit of cod liver oil on the chest. That would be helpful. Of course, yeah, we don't know why your child is coughing, so make sure that the child is getting enough detox assistance, right? Baths and being in the sunlight every day, walking barefoot on the earth, doing enemas, things like that. Yeah. Hello, Megan. Hello, Louise. Hey, Louise, Lisa. I hope that's right, or Lisa. How are you from California? How much kefir should be consumed? The itchy feet is only at night. You'll have to tell me what time at night. Nah, is it? Give me some times when it happens. Hello, Cindy. Hello, Priscilla. So good to see people. Hello, Joanna. Good to have you. Hope you're doing well. All right, let's see. A day. I see you. Okay, let me just get back up here. Let's see what's happening. So good to be with everyone. Okay, Na wants to know, please, in which book can I find the enemas? We do just water enemas for now. Yes, I would look in the blue book for under bowel management. Look for enemas under bowel management in the blue book. Dr. Natasha has a lot of different ones in there. I would take a look there. And if you're just doing water enemas, remember it's always water plus salt, a little bit of salt for children, because water can be very drying. It can be very disruptive to the flora unless we make the water that we're using for the enema like us, right? So we're really kind of saline inside, salty. Not really salty, but. Okay, Anissa says or asks, I have good quality enema coffee, but didn't know I have to put it in the fridge. If this is right, is it going to be moldy now if it's been over 6 months outside the fridge? It really depends, Anissa, on is it in an airtight container at home? That's usually good. Is it very humid where you are? Because if it's humid and moist in the air, then yes, you could have mold develop. Yeah, I don't know that everybody's keeping everything in the fridge, which is not a bad thing in terms of keeping things fresh or trying to. Yeah, just you have to give me more information about that. Oh, you're welcome. The itchy around from 12 a.m. to 5 a.m. So that is liver time plus lung time. Right? So, hello, Colleen. All right. Okay, so, yes, if you have itchy feet between 12 a.m. to 5 a.m., so liver time starts at 1, lung time starts at 3, I would say I would be really making sure that I was doing enough detoxification for that child. Up the detox baths. Support the liver. How do we support the liver? We drink beet kvass. We do castor oil packs on the liver. We drink GAPS milkshakes. We eat beet greens. We do all sorts of things like that. Yeah, so support the liver. And yeah, and then maybe you just want to put some tallow on those feet. Right? Homemade tallow balm. See if that would help also at nighttime. Hey, Efrain. Good to have you. Hey, Sabrina. The coffee is in its original package, but opened. I feel I should start all over again. So it just depends. If you're using coffee for the anytime you buy coffee, folks, it really needs to be, again, in general, anytime you buy coffee for an enema, you want to put it in an airtight container. Put it in a glass container with a jar, with a lid, so that it stays fresh. That's the best thing to do. You're welcome. Of course, you're welcome. Happy to help. All right, let's see what else do we have up here. La 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 la. Okay, we're going back up here. We are now going to Priscilla. Hello, Priscilla. Let's see. Would you do stage 2 for anemia or just up the liver? Maybe a platelet issue. So, again, in general, anemia can often be because you have a leaky gut. So, that's one thing that can cause anemia. So, I would really make sure that you're doing enough meat stock. Drinking enough meat stock, so child 1 to 3 cups a day depending on age, adult 3-4 cups a day, meat stock, gelatinous meat stock. Stage 2 is a great place to go for anyone who wants to do healing. I mean, you're all healing all the time, but on every stage. But stage 2 tends to be a very, very good place to park because Dr. Natasha says that it is a nutritionally complete stage. So you can stay in stage 2, that's a wonderful thing, and increase the amount of liver you're bringing in. Thinking of what else? You know, anemia, this is again a little bit outside of GAPS, but we need where, so first we look to the gut and whether or not it's healed. Next, we look to, are you getting enough, iron-rich foods like liver? But the other thing you want to look at is bone marrow, because the bones are where the red blood cells are made. So maybe bone marrow butter, or increase the amount of bone marrow you're taking in. And then also, I would look at what's going on with your spleen. Now, so you're like, Monica, how am I going to deal with that? You could perhaps get some spleen. There are some wonderful companies that sell spleen, and you just cook it like you cook everything else. You may also want to look into castor oil pack on the spleen, which would be opposite the liver, right? Other side of the body. Just a thought. And then, of course, boy, I'm really on a roll now. I didn't think I'd have much to say about this topic, but remembering that red blood cells, hemoglobin, which is what makes our blood red, is only one molecule off of chlorophyll. So you could up the chlorophyll, perhaps. I'm not saying take a chlorophyll supplement, although you could. But greens have magnesium as the molecule in the center, and hemoglobin has iron, right? So that's the difference. So you got plant blood that's green, human blood that's red. So I'm just thinking about like supporting the places that actually make the blood, supporting the places, meaning bone marrow, supporting the places that actually recycle blood cells, that means your spleen. And then I would be looking at, chlorophyll, because chlorophyll will help the body to produce more good, rich blood, along with liver, of course. Hope that was helpful. 10-year-old. Wow. All right, bone marrow butter. Go for it, Priscilla. And keep working on the gut and bring the liver in any way that you can, for sure. All right. All right. Louise wants to know how much kefir should be consumed. What a question. How much can you tolerate? Sorry, folks, I can't give you a number because every human is different, right? So how much kefir should be consumed by an adult? Is it an adult that you're asking for? Let me see. A day, I think so. So how much kefir should be consumed? How much can you tolerate? Yeah, so kefir can constipate. So watch that. And kefir is very potent, so watch your die-off reactions. I used to say if every adult had, if you're trying to heal something, some strong microbial imbalance, it's a quart a day for an adult of kefir. That's 4 cups. But for most adults, again, for children, maybe a cup a day. Small children. Adults, if you can get a cup to if you can tolerate 1 to 2 cups of kefir a day, meaning you're not constipated, you're not getting migraines, you're not having, exhaustion and fatigue because you had too much kefir, right? That's really a good number to shoot for. 1 to 2 cups a day. Remember, it's very powerful stuff, and people can consume too much. So, hope that's helpful. All right. No worries that you were late, Cindy. I'm happy you're here. Is a coffee enema absolutely necessary? So, we have to divide, I like to divide enemas into 2 camps, maybe 3. 3 camps. 3 camps. 1, cleansing enema. That means that you're constipated and you need to clear out. That's the basic enema. That's a cleansing enema. Okay? That happens for constipation, when you're constipated. Coffee enemas are really detoxification. That means you can do coffee enemas whether you're, even especially when you're having good bowel movements, right? So coffee enemas help the liver to decongest. Coffee enemas are a detox tool. They're a tool for detoxification. And we always do a cleansing enema prior to a coffee enema. Please make a note of that, right? We never just do a coffee enema. And then the third type of enema to me that I call, that I've divided into categories, the third type is really a nourishing enema. So sometimes we use enemas to feed people when they're really, really sick, or they're really, really exhausted, or they can't eat this way, right? We can do meat stock through the enema. Dr. Natasha talks about that. It's a really, really good tool. It really can be very helpful. So, are coffee enemas absolutely necessary? No. Are they a fabulous tool in your toolbox? Yes. Depends on how fast you want to. And I hesitate to say that because I don't know if you're American, but Americans love to overdo things. Sorry. Maybe everybody else does, but I just have my experience here. So, pardon me, they'll say, oh, if one coffee enema is good, let me do 10 or 5 or every day or whatever. So some people do coffee enemas every day because they just feel so good. Their brain is clear. They think well. They feel good in their body. So I would definitely take a look at it. Okay. Monica, okay, Anissa, talking of walking barefoot, I maintain an organic garden and it's full of live organisms. Will my kids pick up anything through their feet? For example, parasites. Maybe. Trying to think about how I can answer that better. Maybe. But remember that parasites don't come in for no reason. At least according to GAPS, they don't. According to Dr. Natasha. If you have a parasitic imbalance in your body, or if you have a yeast imbalance in your body, or if you have any microbe out of balance in your body, it's because the body invited it in to take care of something. So parasites aren't just going to jump into bodies, just like germs don't jump into bodies, folks. They don't just jump into bodies. So they only come when they are beckoned, when they are necessary for something on some level, whether it's physical, emotional, or whatever else. But usually when we talk about parasites and worms, it is a physical thing. Yeasts come in. Candida, poor Candida. Everybody's beating on Candida. Candida protects your brain from heavy metals. So they might, or they might not. But it's a great thing that you have an organic garden. Kudos to you, lady. All right. La 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 la. Let's see. You are welcome, Anissa. All right. What brand of coffee is best for enemas? Organic, dark roast. I think that's all we need to know. Like green Gap shakes. So we remember that. So green Gap shakes would give you both chlorophyll plus plus working on the liver. Just make sure you have whole raw eggs in there and lots of good cultured cream. That could definitely work. All right. Hello, Sandra. Good to have you. Woohoo! Is it okay to do a coffee enema if I'm hypothyroid? I think so. I would check the blue book. Dr. Natasha has a whole list of who should not have coffee enemas. One of them is Graves' disease, which is hyperthyroid. So take a look, Cindy. I'm not sure about hypo. I didn't retain that. But it's in the blue book. You're welcome. You're welcome. Hey, Sandy. How are you? All right, let's go back here. I'm going to go to Joanna's because it has to do with enemas. Do you know of any guidelines on enema frequency? I have seen a spectrum of recommendations from daily enemas in some cases to infrequent as needed enemas. Is there a risk of too frequent daily for an extended time enema usage that could lead to the inability of the natural stool elimination muscles to function normally? So, good question. Dr. Natasha has answered this several times, and we get this question a lot. Again, cleansing enemas, which is the basic enema, should be used if you miss a day, right? So if you miss a day, say you miss Monday, then you do the enema on Tuesday. So cleansing enemas should be done any day that you miss a bowel movement. Coffee enemas, I like to work with people and say, hey, for adults, start with one a week. See how you do. Some people like to do coffee enemas every day. They swear by them. Every single day, they do one or two cleansing enemas and then a coffee enemas. They take 2 hours out of their morning every day, and they feel like $1 million. So, is there a risk of too frequently? I don't believe so. I believe that Dr. Natasha says she doesn't believe there's a risk of too frequent daily enemas over extended period of time. Yes, if someone has been doing a daily enema over an extended period of time, every day, over 3 months, 6 months, a year, a long time, they probably will not have an enema. They will not have a bowel movement for a day or 2 or 3, right? But then they'll come back online. That's the experience. So hopefully that's helpful. All right. How to make a teenager get an enema? You can't. Well, it depends. If this is just a teenager, or is it a nonverbal autistic teenager, right? So we got different things going on. If it's just a teenager and you want to make them get an enema, it just really depends. Are they over 18? Probably the answer is no. If this person is able to understand you, again, this is not a nonverbal person, then you just talk about the benefits of the enema. So again, one more time with feeling, folks. Think about, does this teenager need an enema because they're constipated? And if they are, number one, look to the liver, right? I have several YouTubes on the liver, right? So go ahead and look at that. Like, how do I work with the liver, and how do I, get the liver moving? And of course, it also has to do with microbial balance, right? The liver plus microbial balance. So if it has to do with the fact that they're constipated, you may be able to tell them, hey, you're going to feel better. Like, when people are constipated, they feel crappy, pardon that pun, right? They feel like they can't think straight, they have brain fog, they are tired, they're cranky, they're crabby, all sorts of things. They're bloated, they feel heavy in their body, they feel toxic. So perhaps you can talk to them about feeling better. You will feel better when you get the toxins out of your body. If it has to do with the toxins out of your body because you have stool that's stuck in your colon, that's just sitting there, allowing the toxins to recirculate to your brain, right? If it's about like, hey, you're feeling toxic, teenager, go do a coffee enema after your basic enema. Again, it's all about education. Talk to them. Tell them how they work. You know, let them know that they may feel better. Sometimes for teenagers, you want to bring them for a colonic, like have someone else do it first so that they feel they can get comfortable with the whole thing before they get started themselves. I hope that's helpful. Okay. Is there a good time to purge parasites? Well, Ephraim, we all have to remember that parasites sometimes are really, really needed in the body. They're doing something for you. Usually people do cleanses of parasites around the full moon. And Dr. Natasha goes into this whole thing about the full moon. So I don't know, does she go through it in the books or is it just with the CGPs and training? I'm not sure. But you can do a parasite cleanse. You know, you would want to do it for 3 months in a row around the full moon, maybe 4 months, to make sure that you get the parasites at all stages of their life, right? You want to make sure you get the eggs, you get the small people, you know, yeah. So I would look into that. In the blue book, that's where it would be. So around the full moon is when you would do purging parasites. But, you know, what else is a good time? Dr. Natasha would say a good time would be after you've had a lot of healing and you've been on GAPS for 2 years, at least 2 years in full after you've or on full after you've graduated from the intro diet, before we do purging anything. For most people. Yeah. That means before we start going after heavy metals, before we start going after parasites, before we start going after candida, we want to make sure we've done the whole intro diet, and then we've gone and been on full GAPS for 2 years, and then, because the idea is that the body should come to balance if we've done all these things. Yeah? And then you won't have to purge them. That's the idea anyway. Okay, so you didn't see hypo mentioned, Cindy, so should be fine. Hello, Misha. After castor oil pack, I've heard it's good to have an enema. I love castor oil packs anyway, so just use them. Use them and do them, right? And then one more quick thing for Cindy with hypothyroid. Actually, I'd be using the castor oil pack on my thyroid. I would do that. I would make sure I'm doing iodine painting. I would make sure that I am perhaps taking ion gut or something like that to make sure that you're keeping glyphosate out of the body, that type of thing. Hi, Misha. You got the last question. How are you doing? I am doing great. Thank you. Do enema 1 week before the full moon and start to use diatomaceous earth. I remember that it's on the CGP class. Rock and roll. Okay. Do an enema 1 week before the full moon and start to use diatomaceous earth. Yeah, I mean, diatomaceous earth, if you're going to use DE, then make sure that you use it away from food, folks. Yeah? Away from food. Not with your meals or your meat stocks or anything like that. Thanks, Misha. Good to have you with us. All right. Okay, folks, we've gone a little bit over today. Good to be with all of you, and I will look forward to seeing you all. Yes, good, Cindy. Yep, try it. One more time with feeling. When do you consume iodine after you've been paying? I would be consuming seaweed first. And then if you're going to try a castor oil pack on your thyroid, Cindy or anyone else, or you're going to try a castor oil pack, once, see how the body responds, right? Once, wait a few days, see how the body responds, right? We're always doing things slowly, gently, little by little on GAPS. We're not like diving in and doing like everything all the time, because your body, yeah, you won't feel well, and we want to manage that die-off. All right? Okay, everyone, be very, very well. Take care of yourselves. Take care of each other. Blessings on your journey. Remember to do the mealtime blessing, right? Or, right? Like you got to come into balance before you start eating that food. All right. Have a wonderful day. Have a wonderful week. And I will see you next week. Same GAPS time. Same GAPS station. Thanks, Anissa. So good to be with all of you. Okay. Bye-bye.